Hi, Lion families. I hope you had a wonderful summer. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Bruce Salter, and I'm the proud principal here at Cypress Trails Elementary School. I hope that you and your child are getting ready for another great year. And this is our back to school presentation. So I hope to share with you all the things that you need to know to start the year off. But as always, you know that me and Mrs. Hall are here if you have any questions. First, I want to celebrate that we are once again an A-rated school. So congratulations, that is an accomplishment that is due to all the hard work of your children, our amazing teachers and staff, but your family as well. And that starts all the way from your child's first days in kindergarten, and we really, really appreciate your support. We are also a Florida School of Excellence, so that means that we have been ranked in the top 80th percentile for the last several years, and only those schools earn that distinction. So we're very, very proud of that. If you were to look at all of the schools locally and look at their final scores for the school grades, we ranked number 5 in all of the schools in the Wellington and Royal Palm Beach Western Communities area. So we're very, very proud of that. Again, that's all the hard work of our students, staff, and families. Specifically in the areas of reading, we were the second highest school when it came to reading learning gains. So that was all of our 4th and 5th grade students who had taken their end of the year PM3 test the year before, and close to over 80% of those students made that learning gain, which is remarkable. And then if you looked at the reading learning gains for the students who scored in the lower 25% the year before, we were the top ranked school in this part of our county for that. And just like for regular learning gains, those learning gains were over 80%. As we get ready to start the year, I want to share and reflect back that last year our students earned over 29,000 points collectively as a school. That's amazing. And all of those points point towards behavior that was safe, respectful, and responsible and kind all across campus. It points towards hard work and academic success, artistic creativity through the different yearbook contests and the talent show. So really our students were amazing last year, and I can't wait to see how many points they earned this year. All right, so every school day begins with our morning arrival. So please be sure you note that car arrival does not start until 7:30. So if you arrive before then, please have your child wait in the car safely with you until you hear a bell ring at 7:30. Then at that point, we'll open up our gates and your child can get out. But you'll see here that we'll have staff that are positioned all around campus. These arrows show you where your child can enter campus. There's 2 gates there where you'll see the arrows from the car loop. And then if they want to, they could have additional assistance. So especially for our younger students, we do have safety patrols and additional staff. If needed, students will stop in the cafeteria for grab and go breakfast. They will always have a choice between a cold option or a hot option, and then they'll get their breakfast, and then they'll walk to the classroom where they will eat in the classrooms. Like I mentioned, please no early drop-offs. First of all, it's not safe, but second of all, I'll talk in a little bit about how we need the car lane open so that we can get all of our teachers on campus. And if you're dropping your child off early and you're leaving campus before 7:30, it does create more traffic, and it's harder to get all of our teachers and staff members in. If your child is a safety patrol, he or she does not have to be on post until 7:35 a.m. So there's no reason for them to get out of the car before 7:30. Also, please note that the left lane inside our car loop is for exit only. So that means you've already dropped your child off. Please don't pass each other. Let's be patient, especially in the beginning of the school year. There's going to be more families using the car lane in the morning until students might turn into walkers or bus riders. But in the meantime, let's just be patient. Please don't pass and use the left lane to go around each other. That left lane is only for families that have dropped off and are exiting our campus. So students can exit the vehicle anywhere along the main office loop. When you're out there, you'll see a red line that's drawn on the sidewalk. That's kind of like the indicator that that's anywhere along that red line students can get out once all the cars have stopped. So if there's a long line and everyone has stopped and you see kids getting out in front of you, go ahead if your child is ready and let them out. We do have a student assistance zone that's located at the very end of the car loop. This is mainly for kindergarten families or students that still are using a booster seat where they might need some additional assistance from you. It's not an area where you say goodbye. We really have to get our students trained to be unbuckled with their backpack ready to get out of the car so we can keep everything moving. We really don't have that luxury of being able to get out of your car, give hugs, say goodbye. If you could really just do that in the car, but have your child ready. But our little ones that do still have car seats and things like that, we do want to give those families the opportunity to help them and buckle up. So just wait until you can get all the way down to the end. Please don't pass cars to get down there. We really just want you to be patient because trust me, it might take you longer as a kindergarten parent to get to the end, but by the time your child is ready, you could be dropping off further up the loop and then you can exit and get out quicker. So you kind of just have to be empathetic and understand that, look, my child needs extra time. I have to wait to get to the assistance zone, but eventually your child won't need that extra help and you'll be one of the parents who can drop and then exit quickly. So one main reason why we don't want your children dropped off before 7:30 is because we have to try to get all of our faculty and staff in the parking lot. It's very difficult to do that when we have so many cars that are lined up and waiting for the 7:30 bell. But when you first arrive on campus, you're now going to see that we put cones out as you first turn right into our parking lot. So please use the right lane. The left lane is only going to be for teachers because it will empty out into part of our parking lot where they can get a spot and they don't have to park on the grass. But if you will stay to the right, and that right lane is going to be used for only parents that are dropping off or picking up in the afternoon. If your child is a walker, our walker gate is located up on the western part of our campus, and you'll see the bike rack out there. It opens at 7:30. So it's going to be utilized for students who walk or ride a bike or scooter. Please don't drop off your students there via car or drop them off using the cul-de-sac across the street or people's driveways. We have to respect our neighbors. And if the sheriff's department does see you do that, that is a violation that you could be ticketed for. You can't stop and drop your children off on the side of the road or in any of those areas. So truly, this gate is for students who walk or ride to school. So grab and go breakfast will be available. These students will enter through the side of the building near our music room, and we have a staff member who's out there to help monitor the crosswalk and to be sure that they get into the building safely. And then we have staff members that are right inside the building to help guide them to breakfast if they need it. And then also just note that the crossing guards aren't there to watch the students before 7:30. They're only there to help them cross the street. So, just don't have that misconception that you could drop your children off or they could get here before 7:30 because there is an adult out there. The crossing guards have to keep their eyes on the students who need help crossing the street. And if your children are out there before 7:30, they're not being supervised. And it's not a safe environment. If they're throwing the football around or they're picking up sticks and throwing things, it's not safe at all. So please be respectful of that, and wait until 7:30 to have your child arrive, or utilize our car lane. If your child rides the bus, he or she will enter campus supervised through that part of our bus loop. They will either walk to breakfast if they need it, or they will just go directly into our 200 building, which is where their classroom is. It's really important that your child keep his or her student ID attached to their backpack. We use zip ties, and your child will have an ID zip tied to their backpack. It's important that we do that for buses because our school district does scan their IDs every morning and every afternoon to take attendance. So if for some reason you need to get a new backpack, please cut the ID off of the backpack, and then if you could zip tie it to their new backpack, or you could send it into school and we'll be happy to attach it for them. Some additional morning arrival procedures is we do have common restrooms that are located in our 200, 300, and 400 buildings, but we have to close them each morning. We just can't allow students to use those in the morning. It's an additional layer of safety, and we want to be sure that our eyes are on children getting to class or getting to breakfast, or helping them. We're not able to supervise the restrooms properly. So if students need to use the restroom, they need to wait till they get to class. If they happen to be a third, fourth, or fifth grader that does not have a restroom in their classroom, they'll have to wait until that 8 o'clock bell. And then at that point, the teachers will start their normal restroom procedures. So it is a good tip to try to just be sure your child uses the restroom before they come to school in the morning. If you happen to be running late after 8 o'clock, we are very flexible. We watch the traffic, we look for weather, things like that that might cause families to be late. So as soon as the gates get pulled down, at that point, students are going to be considered tardy. But we will have a staff member, typically it's Mrs. Klein who's out there, and she will leave the door open, and students can go in through that door, and she'll just write your student down as being tardy. If she's not out there, then that means you need to please temporarily park your car right in front of the office and walk your child into the office. We just need to be sure that they can safely get into the office and be signed in appropriately. If you ever need to visit the main office in the morning, we do have visitor parking in our parking lot. It's kind of towards the back of our parking lot where you can see some trees, like a wooded area, and you'll see signs that say visitor parking. Those are used if you have a parent meeting that morning, or if you need to come into the office, to get assistance for something. Kindergarten families will be permitted to walk their children to class on the first day of their staggered start, which you'll see here is Monday the 12th is last names A through L, so it's student last name. Tuesday is student last name M through Z. And then the 14th, 8/14 is all kindergarten students. So you can walk your child to class on their staggered start day and on the 14th. But after that, all kindergartners have to use the car loop or other methods on their own. But again, we do have plenty of teachers and safety patrols who can assist them. So school food service will also be utilizing student ID cards for both breakfast and for lunch. Each student will get a ID tag attached to their backpack. that needs to be left on all year, not only for the buses like mentioned before, but also for breakfast, because our cafeteria has to account for every student who gets breakfast, but also for safety. If your child, let's say, has a food allergy or a dietary restriction, that gets scanned, and then their information pops up for the cashier, and the cashier can double check that they aren't taking items that they need to. So it really is for the safety and the wellness of all of our students. For lunch, they have badges on a lanyard like this, but they'll only use those for lunch or if they go to the media center to check out books. That badge with their lanyard will always be kept at school. If for some reason your child comes home wearing their lanyard, please just put it back in their backpack for safekeeping, and just remind them that they can't be taking it home. It needs to stay at school. Breakfast and lunch will continue to be complimentary this school year, but there is a way for your family to still apply for the free or reduced meal benefits. This really helps with different items around the community, especially if you have older students as they get ready to, let's say, take the SAT, ACT, things like that. They can get waivers and vouchers. So we encourage your family to do that, because you could still be eligible for great benefits. All right, so for dismissal, car riders will begin dismissal first. That's the largest group of students in the afternoon, so we want to get them going earlier, and we don't want the traffic to be backed up too far on Park Road North. That will happen, so please be mindful of that the first few weeks especially. So they're going to be supervised by teachers and staff in their classrooms, but also as they walk to the car loop. This will normally begin at about 2 o'clock, 1:55, 2 o'clock. But for the first 2 weeks of school, we're going to start it no later than 1:45. So that will help to get our systems moving. Our students need to learn the system as well, so it'll give us some extra time. So we do have a new class on our campus this year that supports children who have autism, and the teacher is Mrs. Shalom. So we're super excited to welcome them and add them as a part of our great school. We're giving them the opportunity to have a separate location for pickup in the afternoon, and that's going to be located behind the media center. So if you ever see a few cars that are like pulling to the left going towards the media center, please don't follow unless your child is in Mrs. Shalom's class. That's just a special area to allow them an earlier pickup if those students need some extra time. Walkers and bus riders will then be dismissed second. They'll line up in the hallway with the teachers and the staff who support and supervise them. The walkers will walk out to that same walkers gate from the morning. This will begin at around 1:50 the first 2 weeks of school, but normally this won't be happening until after 2 o'clock for the remainder of the year. Aftercare students will be picked up at the classroom by staff. This is something important, that if your child is not yet officially in aftercare, if they are on a wait list, please don't tell the teacher that they're in aftercare yet. You have to have a separate means of afternoon pickup if they're going to be a car rider or daycare van. So just please be sure that you don't confuse the teacher by saying they're in aftercare when they're not really officially signed up yet. The teacher will be notified once they're officially registered. And speaking of daycare vans, it's important that you be sure that you tell the teacher officially if they're a daycare van rider or a bus rider. Sometimes we just use the phrase bus rider, but that could mean that they're going on a daycare van to a private daycare. So just as you tell your teacher, just please be specific about that. So each student's going to have a 3-digit number, and that's based on grade level. So kindergartners, for example, have a 0. First graders have a 100 something, and so on. So these are going to be projected in our classrooms. And so as you drive into the car loop, we input the 3-digit number for your child. And when they see it, they will then walk out to the car loop. And it times out pretty well that by the time you get there, your child's already there waiting for you. So just please be sure you have that displayed every day, even if it's the last day of school. You know, I try my best to memorize everybody, but it still helps in case I'm not there, or just in general, you get a new car, something like that. Just have your car tag displayed, because it will also have your child's name on it that we call out. Each family has been provided with 1 copy in advance, but please keep this for the entire school year. A second copy will be sent home once we know your child is a regular car rider. If you just need 1 copy, let's say your child's a bus rider, keep it, because you never know if you're going to change your child to a car rider. But if you are a regular car rider, we'll make a second copy for you. And then if you ever need more, you can request them through the main office. Please remain in your vehicle the entire time. I put that in bold letters. That's key. For safety, we cannot allow parents to get out of their car and walk up to the school to pick up their child. If you remain in your car the whole time and you have your car tag displayed, trust me, that will work the quickest for everybody. If you don't have a car tag, though, or someone comes to pick them up that doesn't have a car tag, for safety, though, we do have to have that person pull over to the side, and we're going to check their ID, and we're going to have to call into the office to confirm that they are allowed to pick up your child. So please be sure you try your best to anticipate who's going to pick up your child and have a car tag ready for them. And all you have to do is just contact the office and ask for however many car tags you need to be made. If your child is a bus rider, you do have to register your ride, and you do that by going to the link here. I'm going to send this out via email, and it'll be an Adobe PDF, so you can just click on the link. But you can also go into your child's portal, and there is a register your ride icon. This is important that every student who rides the bus be registered, because that will allow for the district to adjust bus stops and also allow them to have an attendance list that they can use to scan the IDs. Severe weather does happen, especially in August and September. So it's important that we still remain in our cars. It's important that we have a car tag if your child is normally a walker, because we won't allow the walkers to leave campus if there is lightning in the area. So the main rule of thumb here is just stay in your car, have your car tag. We will utilize the car loop safely, but we will probably be moving a lot slower. So just please be mindful of that. And again, this is why it's important that you have a car tag for each student. If your child's a walker, they will turn into a car rider, or if there's no one to pick them up, we will keep them at school and take care of them until it is safe to do so. The only time that maybe we wouldn't be able to keep them is once the crossing guards leave. So that is important, that if your child is a walker, you watch the weather. But with advance notice, storms pop up out of nowhere, lightning pops up out of nowhere. But if we know that the storm is coming, or we're under a longer period of a storm, I will send out a text message letting families know that we're using our severe weather procedures. All right, and these are some reminders there that I spoke about. Early dismissal. There is no early dismissal after 1:30 p.m. So please be mindful of this. If your child has a doctor's appointment, if your child has something, it's better to just pick them up earlier than it is to try to wait, and possibly get here after 1:30. If you need your child for early dismissal, or if anytime you're visiting the office, ring the doorbell, and then what you'll have to do is show your ID, because if we don't know you, we have to be sure that we know why you're here and who you are. That's safety. We don't just let anybody into the office. We don't unlock the door for anybody. Sometimes, though, there will be multiple parents and guardians, and we're all wonderful people and we all are respectful of each other. So I know we want to hold the door open, right? But that person behind you, we may not know who they are. We may have to, check their ID. So it's better to just enter the office, but respectfully, not hold the door open for someone who you see walking up through the parking lot. One thing to be mindful of is, let's say you have a doctor's appointment and you're coming at 12 o'clock to pick up your child. Let the teacher know, because if at 12 o'clock your child, let's say, is eating lunch and you come to pick them up, they then have to leave the cafeteria, go all the way back to their classroom, get their backpack, come all the way back to the office. That could cause you to be late for your appointment, but more importantly, it's just, inconvenient for the child. So if you let the teacher know that you're picking your child up early, he or she will have your child's belongings. They'll take them to lunch, they'll take them to recess, fine arts, and they'll be ready to come straight to the office. Here's an example of what the doorbell camera looks like. So again, you would just hold up your ID, but after a while, we'll get to know you. And we do still have our same office staff who's there, especially Miss Rivera, who's at our front desk. As she gets to know you, she won't ask for your ID anymore. She'll still ask you, how can I help you? And please be sure that you state why you're there, but she won't ask you to check your ID anymore as she gets to know you and recognizes you. All right, here's some good tips for parents and guardians. Definitely recommend sending a water bottle with your child every day. The reason why is that some of our classrooms, may not have a water fountain, but also it just helps to, well, first of all, keep our kids hydrated, especially in the hot months. But sometimes instead of them needing to go down the hallway to fill up their water bottle, it just works better for them to fill it up in the morning when they get there, and then maybe after lunch, so they're not missing any learning time. All students will have a Chromebook assigned to them, but really this stays at school. There aren't going to be too many times unless you work it out with the teacher. Let's say your child's going to be absent for a long time for some reason. Maybe you could work it out with the teacher, but for the most part, they stay at school. A big thing is that they are going to need headphones, and we did put that on the supply list. But if your child has Bluetooth headphones like AirPods, things like that, those are discouraged because they can't use those when they take their state tests. And our students now take a state test 3 times a year. So I recommend you still get ones that have a plug-in cord. We are so excited to welcome visitors and volunteers. I just am so ecstatic from the last few years, especially after COVID. We've had so many volunteers on campus. Just give us a few weeks, though. We need a few weeks to kind of get our own school procedures going and orient our new students. But we will be having our first PTO meeting here in a few minutes. You'll see it on a slide. And if you're interested in volunteering, that'll be a great time to start that process. Your family is welcome to enjoy lunch with your child. We're flexible like this because we know that our families have different situations. Some of our family members serve in the military, and we want them to be able to, come eat lunch with their child when they're on leave. Some of our families work different hours, live in different places. But we do ask that you just respect the independence of your child. Don't make this a regular thing, but at the same time, if it's something special, you have family visiting from out of town, things like that, you're welcome to come any day you want, not just their birthday. But we do ask that you please don't invite other children. I know your child might want to bring some friends over to the table or go outside with you to eat, but you can't supervise other children. It's not, it's not safe, for liability reasons. So please be sure that it's just you and your child eating together. If it's your child's birthday and you bring in treats, just please consult your child's teacher for any allergies or dietary restrictions. But also you're welcome to pass those out during lunch. We have teachers that are in there during lunch, just, kind of check with them to find out, hey, when's a good time. Typically like the last 15 minutes of lunch, give the kids a chance to eat their food first, and then you can pass out things that aren't home baked. Please don't bring in home baked items. They need to be items that are easily eaten and store bought. Cookies are always great. Cupcakes can get a little messy. Definitely don't bring in like a big sheet cake. It's just going to be way too much hassle. Focus on smaller treats, things that are easier for the kids to eat while they're in the cafeteria. All right, so some more tips for parents and guardians. Grades 3 through 5 will have to create a unique password on the first day of school for their portal and their Chromebook. So this is important. This could be, something new, especially for third graders. So here are the rules for that. I recommend before the first day of school, come up with something that your child can easily remember. We do have a way to like reset their password, but we still want it to be something that they can easily remember because they're going to be using it, every day to log in. And here are some tips at the bottom too about the importance of not sharing it with other kids, especially. And here is a guide for you in terms of, is your child too sick for school? The big ones are fever, right? A fever definitely means that, they need to stay home and really be fever free, without medication for 24 hours. Vomiting and diarrhea, constant coughing, right? I mean, a little cough here or there, for different reasons, but constant coughing, it means that they really have an aggressive cough and it's happening constantly. You can read through here, and Nurse Jennifer, if you haven't met her yet, she's amazing, and she definitely will be a consultant for you if needed. Here are some important handbooks. The one on the left is our Cypress Trails Things to Know handbook. And the one on the right is the school district and family handbook for the entire district. So these are great resources to read through, but also just to keep, as a reference. If you ever have any questions, you can refer to these and you can kind of sort through. Ours is done alphabetical by topic. The school districts, should be easy for you to navigate through as well. All right, here's some back to school events. So this Friday, meet the teacher anytime from 1 to 3. It's like an open house style. You're welcome to walk your child to their classroom and bring in any school supplies that you have. We will have Spirit t-shirts and house t-shirts for sale in the cafeteria, but it's until supplies last and it's cash only. Don't worry though, if you miss out on it, we will have additional items for sale on School Cash online within the first few weeks of school, including house shirts. If your child is new to our school, here in a few minutes, you'll find out our house events. And once your child is sorted into a house, then you can go online and buy that house shirt. But you don't want to buy one yet because you don't know what house they're going to be in, unless you wanted to buy all 4. But it's up to you. But I would recommend wait, and then you can buy a house shirt as soon as they get sorted, because every Friday students can wear their house colors. PTO is going to be having a scavenger hunt. That will involve meeting and greeting different people around campus, including our fine arts team. So we'll encourage you to go to the art room, go to the music room, see Coach Barrios, in the courtyard. Those are going to be different things that we recommend that you do. Ms. Monticello will have the STEM lab open. But if you go around and do the scavenger hunt and turn it back into the PTO table, we'll do raffle drawings. And we'll have gift cards. We're going to do like family gift cards. So it'll be for like dinner and a movie, things like that, that your family can enjoy together if your name gets drawn. Also, we have a local business called Frio's Pops. This is a ice cream pop truck. They will be here and they'll be selling ice cream pops for $5 each. On our Facebook page, I did post like the different types of pops that they have available, but you can find them on their Facebook page or their website. But $1 from each ice pop is going to go back to our school. So it's going to be a great fundraiser. But, you know, on a hot August afternoon, there's nothing better than a nice cold ice pop. August 12th is the very first day for all students in grades 1 through 5. Kindergarten, we ask that it's only students with the last name A through L. This gives our kindergarten teachers that chance to just give your child a more personal first day experience, go through the rules, the routines, walk the campus, and learn about all the different parts of being a Cypress Trails Lion. You can also walk your child to class that day. Families of 1st through 5th graders, though, you won't be allowed to walk your child to class. I really recommend that you come to meet the teacher if your child is brand new to our school, but we will help him or her get to their classroom the first day of school and any other day that they still don't feel knowledgeable yet about our campus. Tuesday the 13th is the first day of school for kindergartners with the last name N through Z. And the 14th, all kindergartners attend together. That will be the last day that you can walk your child to class in kindergarten. Please note that on those days and any day that you come on our campus, you have to have your ID ready because we scan it through a quick background check, and then you get a sticker printed that you wear your entire time that you're on campus. At Meet the Teacher, this goes for all families, we will have a table set up where you can have your ID scanned. We recommend that you do that so that you're in the system, meaning that if you happen to forget your ID, you can give us your name and your picture will pop up of your ID and we'll be able to verify you that way. Also, when we do large events like ceremonies and things like that, we'll know in advance if you want to come because we'll have an RSVP, and then we can actually run your background check and print off the stickers in advance. And then that way, when you show up, your sticker will be there waiting for you and you don't have to wait in line to get your ID scanned. August 21st, the second Wednesday of school, is our school advisory council meeting, our first one of the year. That's at 4 o'clock in the media center. If you're interested in school advisory council, it is our group of community members, parents, teachers, and we work together to drive the success academically and other initiatives of our campus. Our main objective is to work on our school improvement plan and to monitor that throughout the year. We do have voting members that are elected by their peers, so parents elect parents. So if you are interested, that's a great meeting to come to be a member of our school advisory council. PTO will take place right after that at 5 o'clock, and it's a volunteer meeting. So if you're interested in volunteering, we'll have an orientation. We'll go through some PTO initiatives for the year. And then after that, at 6 o'clock, if your child goes to Crestwood and you signed up for him or her to be a volunteer, the Crestwood volunteer meeting will be at 6 o'clock that night. August 28th, we have a family reading workshop that'll take place in our cafeteria from 5 to 6. An RSVP for that will be coming soon, and dinner will be provided, and we will have childcare for the children while you can participate in that workshop. So just stay tuned for that RSVP. And then right after that, starting at 6 o'clock, we will have our curriculum night where you can visit your child's classroom, learn about the curriculum for the year and important information about this school year. And we have 2 sessions in case you have more than one child or you need the flexibility. So we have a 6 o'clock and then we have a 6:45. We ask though that this isn't an open house, so you can't like pop in. Please, if you get here, let's say at 6:30, please wait until 6:45 for the second session to start. Don't step into the room just yet. Just wait in the hallway for the next session. Like I said, teachers will provide the same session twice to provide that flexibility. All right, house events. The very first Friday of the year, next Friday the 16th, is House Friday for those students who are already in a house in grades 1 through 5. You can always wear your school colors. You can dress up, to show your house spirit. But that day, we are going to have a ceremony in the cafeteria to sort all of our brand new students in grades 1 through 5. We're so excited to welcome you to your new house that you will be in for the rest of the time that you are at Cypress Trails. Or if you go to Crestwood Middle School and you volunteer with us, you'll stay in your house as 6th, 7th, and 8th graders when you come over to volunteer and visit with us. House points will then begin on Monday the 19th once we officially have all of our 1st through 5th graders in their house. Now, those of you who did the summer challenge, you will be recognized that morning of the 16th. We'll celebrate you, and you will earn your 5 house points at that time as well. All right, August 23rd, the second Friday of school, another House Friday, just like every Friday. But that's an exciting day because our kindergartners are going to be sorted. They will come to the cafeteria to spin the wheel and learn which house they are going to join for the rest of their time at Cypress Trails. House points for kindergarten will begin on Monday, August 26th. And that should be it for my presentation. So families, I can't wait to see you at Meet the Teacher. I hope you had a great summer. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, we're A-rated. We are highly ranked in the Wellington and Royal Palm Beach area. I hope that makes you proud to be a Cypress Trails Lion. It makes me very proud to be your principal. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you and have an awesome, awesome new school year. See you soon.